Hey guys, Captain Jack here. No system as a whole has had quite as many ROM hacks as Nintendo's original, with at least one for each of its best games. A lot of people have spent a lot of time putting their spin on a classic. That's why today we're looking at the best NES ROM hacks. Mario Ultimate surprised me in a good way. I had never heard of it before making this video. By far the best of the graphical reworks I've played. It looks like almost every sprite has been changed to match the new art style, and it's an absolute home run. The theater theme seen in the base game with platforms bolted to the walls or hanging off the roof of a supposed set are replaced with an exaggerated cartoony art style that honestly matches the box art of the game much better than the original. A pretty coat of paint isn't all this hack has to offer, however. It also features completely new levels, reworked enemies, and a new difficulty setting. Although the levels are graceful on the player, they still have plenty of challenging puzzles, and the castle levels are still quite tricky at times. A surprising addition is that Bowser Jr. is worked into the story, and he replaces Boom Boom as the mini-boss. Overall, Mario Ultimate has great mechanics and levels, with an even greater new graphical rework. Metroid Mother is actually an amalgamation of three completely different Metroid hacks. A quality of life hack that adds saving back into the game and a new minimap, and two completely different graphical hacks, taking the best from both. The end product is a refresh that breathes new life into a game that hasn't aged particularly well. The new graphics seem heavily inspired by Metroid Zero Mission and have a lot of care put into them. My favorite detail is how now in missile mode, Samus's entire suit is accented blue instead of just the end of her gun. There seems to be an intentional balance here, preserving the game's mechanics and layouts, but presenting them in an appealing way with modern conveniences. Even though the limited movement options from the original are still here, it's amazing just how much more appealing a few changes can make an originally obtuse experience. Mega Man in Mushroom Kingdom is exactly what you'd expect. Mega Man placed in Mario-style levels. This hack of Mega Man 1 features completely new levels and tile sets, with each stage being named after the theme of Mario level it represents. The level design is pretty well done here. It's a little buggy, don't get me wrong, and the difficulty is just a tad easier than the original. The bosses remain unchanged, although the power-up menu has had its letters replaced with icons, which helps things. The only major complaint here is the reasoning behind which enemies are reskinned as what makes no sense. I mean, look at this Goomba. What? Or how about these enemies that are both reskinned as Chain Chomp, despite both of them having nothing to do with Chain Chomp? But overall, Mega Man in Mushroom Kingdom has some pretty unique levels when you're looking to change things up. Kirby's Halloween Adventure is obviously a Halloween hack, but it's more than just a color swap. It changes all the backgrounds while giving many of the enemies new sprites. Each enemy now has a Halloween-related getup, with Waddle Dees wearing scary masks, the Sparkies looking like Frankenstein, and Poppy Brothers resembling clowns. There are some moderate changes within the levels, but the bosses and general direction of the levels seems unchanged. It doesn't seem to be the emphasis of the hack at this point, and I say at this point because this hack is relatively new and seems to get updated on a regular basis. Although the style of Kirby's Adventure is unchanged, it's almost a feat in and of itself how well the creator understands how to make sprites that match the tone of the original. This is really seen best with the copy ability window. Not only are all of these redrawn with a ton of charm, but almost all of them have references or a joke of some kind hidden within them. At one point, I was just grabbing different abilities to see what the window was going to do next. Everything from Charlie Brown to a fairly recent Guardians in the Galaxy reference. This hack is just bursting at the seams with personality. Mother 25th Anniversary Edition is a love letter to a game that is often overshadowed by its sequels. And wow, it is well done. Much like Metroid Mother, 25th Anniversary Edition keeps most of the core elements of the original intact while smoothing out the gameplay and updating the graphics. Although the graphical update here is more of a preference rather than a direct improvement, with the classic Peanut character look being shifted toward a clay look that closer matches the models produced for the artwork. The gameplay changes here range from the overworld being tweaked to the less repetitive grinding parts being lessened. All of them targeting at reducing frustration that you'd probably have otherwise with a 30-year-old game like this. Zelda Outlands is basically a new Zelda game and stands out at the top of the Zelda hacks. Completely new weapons, a new overworld with new dungeons to explore. This is Outlands' bread and butter. Even some enemies from Zelda 2 have been worked in as well. The story is unlike most Zelda games, with Zelda being completely fine and well, helping you with items she's found while you try to capture the fairy at the end of each dungeon. I don't even want to think about how much time was put into making this completely new overworld, and it's a testament to the dedication of the project. Considered the best of the best by many, Mario Adventure has it all. From the more typical graphical changes to subtle changes to the game engine itself, nothing is untouched here. Some notable changes are the ability to play the first 7 of the 8 completely new worlds in any order you want, and a weather system that can change the level each time you play through it. Power-ups are storable just like they were in Super Mario World, and when it comes to difficulty, I would say it's basically equal to the original title. Keep that in mind if you jump into World 7 thinking it's going to be as easy as World 1. Some levels have a very puzzle-like nature to them, focusing on a small, challenging puzzle or sequence rather than a horizontally long level. The only thing negative I have to say here is that every level ends with boom boom, which was cool the first few times, but man, do I get sick of boom boom. Sometimes, man, I worked really hard, just let me finish the level. I don't need boom boom, I don't care if he flies now, I don't care. But that's a drop in the ocean of good changes and additions here, and it's easy to see why this is usually considered the best NES ROM hack out there. The amount of professional polish Metroid Rogue Dawn has makes it look like it's an original indie title. With new graphics, layouts, and sound, this may be the farthest a hack can depart away from the original. The story driving the adventure is that you're a human agent under Ridley's control and your mission is to steal a Metroid from the Federation. And it actually serves as a prequel to the first game. It's the most cohesive by far when it comes to forging its own identity with music, graphics, and story, each playing their part right here. Castlevania has a surprising amount of quality hacks, but one of the best is Castlevania The Holy Relics. In addition to new graphics and modified enemies, the Holy Relics differs from the classic formula by allowing you to choose the levels in any order, which changes things up quite a bit. It also allows you to choose a relic, which is a much stronger power-up than usual, with its own hearts to collect in order to use. These can be anything from restoring health to being able to activate the cross items seen in the original game at any time. The music seems to be a combination of original tunes and remixes of other songs from Castlevania. The original music actually fits quite well, and having Bloody Tears playing the stage right after an original song really sells the new material. Last but not least, Castlevania Chorus of Mysteries. This one just barely beats out Holy Relics for the best Castlevania hack. Its original music is top-notch and my favorite of any of the hacks I've played. It has its own style, being a little bit lighter than the official Castlevania music, but it still fits really well. The best level by far is the chess theme level, and I love the excellent sprite work on the giant pieces scattered throughout. And the level design doesn't let these new themes down either. Many of the enemies have new sprite work, and it may come down to personal preference, but the linear progression of this game compared to Holy Relics I prefer. Castlevania Chorus of Mysteries brings everything to the table, and really does look like a true sequel to the first game. Anyway, thanks for watching.